Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC presents Kevin Keatsman Has Issues, online at robertsrobinson.com.
You know, we love to send you off with a little fun on Friday to get you ready for your weekend. We hope you have a great weekend this weekend, but I want to start by reminding you that we're only 1 weekend away from the big event, Armed Forces Day, coming up May 20th at the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds. We would love for you to join us there. Our friends at Cross Kitchens have set up a fan zone for the combat cornhole tournament that we're going to have there if you want to play cornhole. We had so many people come out in the Northland last fall on a beautiful evening for a cornhole tournament. This one's going to be a little bit different. You don't have to sign up in advance. You don't have to tell me you're coming. You can show up at any time. We start registration at 11 a.m. on the 20th. That's a week from Saturday, Armed Forces Day, at the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds. And it's going to be an entire military day, an homage to the American military. It's going to be great. We're going to have service dogs presented to folks. We're going to have actual young men and women enlisting in the armed forces. We're going to have prizes for them and cool send-offs as they go to basic training, and it's just going to be a great day. There's going to be all kinds of military equipment. You can come and go as you please. You can bring the entire family. You can bring your dog. You can walk around the fairgrounds. They had over 5,000 people at this event last year. It's a wonderful celebration of America. They'll present the colors. I will speak on the main stage at just a little bit after 2 o'clock at the event on Saturday the 20th at the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds, and we'd love to see you. And my friend Tim Cross over at Cross Kitchens, he's such a big sponsor of this event, and he's a total buy-in to all things red, white, and blue and military, but also he and his staff love to play cornhole. They have these cornhole setups at Cross Kitchens in their warehouse where they all gather and begin their days each day. And at the end of the week, typically on a Friday like today, they'll stop a little early, and they'll play cornhole for a couple hours in the afternoon, and they stay on the clock. He pays them to do all this cool, fun stuff because he really appreciates his craftsmen and the people that work for him and do such a great job with the remodeling houses. So cornhole's important to them. The cornhole area will be set up. We're going to have a massive amount of cornhole setups. You can get in the tournament or you cannot get in the tournament. If you want to get in the tournament, I think we're going to charge $10. It will go straight to Friends in Service of Heroes. It's all for charity. If you just want to come by with your kids and play a game of cornhole, we'll have an area set up for that as well. That's free. You can just do it. But the fan zone where we're going to have all this cornhole set up is a great place to smoke a cigar, hang out with your friends, have something cool to drink. We hope you'll come by and say hello. We're going to have prizes and giveaways and koozies and T-shirts and cool stuff like that. So come see us at the fan zone for the Combat Cornhole event that's taking place at Armed Forces Day on Saturday, May 20th at the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds. It runs from 10 to 4. The entire event runs 10 to 4 on Saturday. We'd love to see you there. All right, we begin with the Chiefs' schedule today, which was released in full on Thursday evening. The headline, of course, 6 primetime games. I was never one that a lot of people in sports media are like, oh, it's a dreaded Chiefs schedule release. It's obligatory and we have to do this segment, whatever. I love when the NFL schedule comes out. Now, I've been in the business for so long that we have literally scheduled our lives around sporting events. When schedules come out, it's important. It's always been important. Whether it's family vacation with the kids when they were little, whatever it is that we did, we had to plan things around sports. There were certain times that there was no way, there's no possible way that I could take time off and go on vacation or do this or do that. So we've always planned things around schedules. And it's pretty funny now that I don't have a bunch of kids and a lot of scheduling and different things that I can do. I still sort of plan things around the schedule. And Jessica's the same way. She loves the Chiefs so much and football season so much. It's a true blessing that she's as into it as me and my buddies are, that she's looking at this schedule and she's trying to plan when we're going to do things and what games we absolutely have to go to at Arrowhead. And, it is amazing what happens when this schedule comes out. And it's important. Other seasons, other sports, you want to know what the schedule is, but things can be missed. I don't think she'd ever want to schedule some big out-of-town vacation during the NCAA tournament, but if she did, she'd still be able to see her Jayhawks play or whatever. But the Chiefs schedule is something sort of like a family experience, or has been for me for a long, long time. It may bore you to tears, I'm not really sure, but I do think it's pretty interesting now that the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL and have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. They have 6 primetime games, which I think we all expected, and it starts with the Lions on a Thursday night. We've gone over that. We knew about 5 marquee games the Chiefs were going to be playing. The headline of this schedule for me is quite simple. The really, 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 really good opponents on the Chiefs' schedule are at Arrowhead. If the Chiefs are ever set up for a bad home record, this is it. And I'm not trying to be doomy and gloomy here, okay? I'm just saying, if they're ever going to have a bad year with a great team at home, this is the one. I mean, I don't think the Lions are going to beat the Chiefs on Thursday night, so we won't go there. But let's look at the home schedule first. The Chargers coming in, clearly they can beat the Chiefs. Clearly. The Dolphins game's at Frankfurt, which puts it in play. The Eagles are coming here. Clearly they can beat the Chiefs. The Bills are coming here. Clearly they can beat the Chiefs. The Raiders on Christmas Day, they have proven they can beat the Chiefs, but they haven't done it in a couple of years. And, of course, the Bengals are coming here on New Year's Eve, and, of course, they can beat the Chiefs. This home schedule is absolute murder. That's good and bad. I mean, I guess maybe on some level you'd like to say, hey, let's farm one of these out and see if we can go steal a road win somehow. This is a high-risk, high-reward year for the Chiefs. This home schedule is everything. If the Chiefs go out and lose 3 games at home, they're going to be a wild card team. And they could lose 3 games at home. The Chiefs could have the best team. With this schedule, the Chiefs could have the best team in the AFC and be like the 5 seed and a wild card. It's all possible. Now, the silver lining, the best part of all this, is that would mean that somebody in the AFC West has to step up and finish ahead of the Chiefs. So the most dangerous game on the schedule, I think, for most people, you would look at this and think, it's the Chargers, October 22nd. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, they seem to be the team that is closest to beating the Chiefs. We don't know what the Broncos will look like with the new coach, Sean Payton, there. But October 22nd seems to me to be the most important game. You got to win your home game against the Chargers, and really, you got to win all 3 home games in your division. If you do that, the Chiefs are in a likely position where they will win the division. Would that get them the 1 seed? Not necessarily. I mean, to get the 1 seed with this schedule will be remarkable. I'm sorry, it just will be. I mean, this is dreadful. The second game of the year, they're at the Jaguars, who were a playoff winning team last year. And while the Chiefs handled them at Arrowhead, they're no patsy, they're no pushover. There just aren't any weeks off on this schedule. The Bears probably suck. September 24th, the Chiefs get a break. I'm going to write that one down as a win. If the Chiefs lose that game, they're probably in for a long season. But I just don't see the weakness on this thing. I don't see – it's really the only game I would look at right now and just say book it. The best part of the Chiefs' schedule, the easiest part, is the NFC division they're playing. That's the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers. These are capable teams, but they're not great teams. When you get out of the AFC, you just don't face the quarterbacks. You just don't have the quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins, probably the best quarterback among those 4. Chiefs have beaten the Vikings before. I mean, it just looks like, and the Chiefs are at the Vikings, but I like those 4 division games. I'm confident in saying I think the Chiefs will go 3-1 against that NFC division, against the Norris division in the NFC. I think they'll go 3-1 there. That's the best part of their schedule. That's the easiest part of the Chiefs' schedule, is those games. The AFC is just murderer's row. And then you throw in the Eagles, who are going to be here on Monday night. We know they can beat the Chiefs. This is just really hard. This is going to be one of those schedules where I think Andy Reid's probably looking at this going, okay, we can't put the pedal to the metal every single game. It's just not something that's doable. We always ask, there's only 17 games, or in college football there's 12. Why can't they be up every single week? This is the kind of schedule where it is going to be impossible to be up and go play your best. And I think there's going to be some games where players are rested and have very few reps. I think there's going to be some games where players sit. I think this is a meat grinder. I mean, I just can't even imagine having a harder schedule than this. And that is largely because the AFC West has gotten tougher. Yes, the Chiefs have owned it. Yes, they have handled it. This will not be easy. We have to believe that Sean Payton is going to make a big difference in Denver. You just have to believe it. That maybe they're not going to win the division. Maybe they're not going to the Super Bowl, but Sean Payton's a winning coach. All that guy has done is win. Now, they've cheated. They've scammed. He got in trouble. He got suspended for a season. This man will do anything he can to beat you in football. That makes the Broncos a dangerous team. The Raiders have Garoppolo. Is that an upgrade? Can he stay healthy? Garoppolo's never been healthy before. I look at the Raiders and I just assume that he's not going to play all season. And if he doesn't play the full season, the Raiders are really no threat to win the division. The Chargers every year pose a threat. They have the type of personnel and the quarterback that can just get hot and beat people that are better than them. And that always scares you. And that's why I think the single most important game of the year, if I'm Andy, if I'm coaching this team, and I'm looking at one game, I'm not telling the players this, I'm looking at one game, I'm saying whatever it takes, it's the Chargers game October 22nd at Arrowhead. We have to win that home game. We have to win that home game. The beauty of that game is the Chiefs have 10 days off before it. They play the Broncos on Thursday Night Football on the 12th, and then have 10 days off until they play the Chargers a week from Sunday, and it's actually a late start at 3:25, which is even more time. We know how Andy Reid's teams do when they have extra time to prepare. Those are back-to-back division games, actually, because then the Chiefs play the Broncos again the following week. They go Broncos, Chargers, Broncos, October 12, 22, 29. And I'll just go ahead and make this statement. If the Chiefs win all three of those games, they're winning this division. And they're going to be in the running for the 1 seed. The 1 seed in the AFC looks like it will be decided in December. I can't see any other way. December 10th, the Bills come to Kansas City, play at Arrowhead at 4:25 on CBS. And December 31st, the Bengals come to Arrowhead, 4:25 CBS. That's it in a nutshell. I think December's it. December's everything. Chiefs win those 2 games at home, they're going to fly up the chart. If they're not the 1 seed, they're going to be really high. They're going to be the 2 or the 3 and maybe find themselves in a spot where if they win a game, they could get the AFC Championship game at home again. This remarkable string they're on of playing AFC Championship games has to come to an end at some point. And when I look at this schedule, this is absolutely brutal, folks. I mean, this thing is brutal. You got the Bills, the Bengals, and the Eagles. The beauty is they're all at home. But I'm not sure home field advantage matters like it used to. Well, in fact, I know it doesn't. It is not what it used to be in the NFL. I don't think it's worth 3 points anymore. You're either better than your opponent that night or you're not. You're going to maybe get a couple of extra penalty calls on your opponent, false starts, maybe a holding call, something like that happens for your opponent playing on the road. But other than that, the actual game on the field, the momentum and things that happen in a game, not very likely to be that much different. We've seen the Chiefs go out on the road and win in a lot of hostile places. They go and they do this because they're the better football team. And it is a situation where the Chiefs, I'm looking at week 4, the Chiefs are playing at the Jets on Sunday Night Football. Did you know that Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers have never played against each other? When Mahomes played the Packers, Rodgers was out, right? Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers have never faced each other. The Jets, I looked it up yesterday, the Jets had 5 games they lost last year where they gave up 20 points or fewer. They have an unbelievable defense. They can run the ball, and now they have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they're literally sitting there losing games last year like 11-6. Weird scores. Games you go, no quarterback play. I think the Jets are a threat in their division with Aaron Rodgers. I really do. The guy's won a boatload of football games, and he's got the best defense he's ever had. Honestly, he's got the best defense he's ever had. That's going to be a hard game. Sunday Night Football at New York. There's just no breaks here. There are no breaks. And I know the NFL's tough, but where are the games against the Falcons? You know? Where are these games against the Patsies? There's nothing here. I don't see a team. The only team, again, I'll go back to the Bears game. The only team on this schedule that if they made the playoffs, I would eat my hat is probably the Bears. I mean, even the Raiders. If Garoppolo goes and plays 17 games at a high level, could the Raiders finish second in the division and be a wild card? Absolutely. I don't think they will, but they could. The only team on this schedule that I'm going to go ahead and scratch right now and say they're not in the postseason is the Bears. And then watch me be wrong on that, because when the schedule comes out, we think we know, and then we don't. Which leads to the final point that I'll make about this schedule. The best teams the Chiefs play are after the bye. They begin in week 11 with the Eagles. We discussed the Bills. We discussed the Bengals, all coming to Arrowhead. We think we know about these teams. What we don't know is by the time November 20th rolls around, whose quarterback is still standing. And it's kind of unseemly and something people don't like to talk about much, but I'm not afraid to do it. Your quarterback health is everything. And pretty much everybody on this schedule, it's everything. The Chargers quarterback is everything. That's 2 games. I would think the Broncos quarterback is everything. There's 4. All the division games. Chiefs get to play a backup quarterback in the division, changes the game dramatically. Eagles, Bills, Bengals, whose quarterbacks are going to be standing? Who's going to have that injury? Schedules can flip on a dime. I mean, very quickly. In the first 3 weeks of a season, your schedule can flip. Teams can start 0-3, their quarterback can be hurt, and you can tell that they're done. You can tell. And these are important things. The other thing that we kind of take as a given is that Patrick Mahomes is going to play 17 games. He gets hurt a lot, and he plays hurt a lot. It's almost always below the waist. It's a toe, it's a foot, it's an ankle, it's something of that nature. And the Chiefs do everything they can, especially in the first half of the season, to limit the amount that he gets hit and limit the amount he runs. He's getting better at this as he goes, and he understands it. The Bills are going through this transformation with Josh Allen. They know they can't keep getting their quarterback hit as much as he gets hit and expect to play their best ball in January. Remember, this is a meat grinder of a sport. You're attempting to win games and make the playoffs every single week by laying it out there on the line and still trying to protect your club to where you can play your best football in January so that you can get to the Super Bowl in February. It is a very, very difficult thing. What the Chiefs have already done in the last 4 years is remarkable. Of course, we go in thinking the Chiefs are the best team in football. We see the Vegas odds. All those things are there. It is still improbable to win a Super Bowl. It is improbable for anyone, which makes what the Patriots did over all those years so remarkable. The consistency. And there are numbers. It's a numbers game. The more chances you get, the more years you're good and you have your quarterback upright and healthy and you go into the postseason, the more Super Bowls the Chiefs are going to win. That's obvious. But this schedule here, this schedule here right here is something else now. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, is this something else? Enjoyed it when it came out, and I hope you enjoy the football season. A couple of other teams did something really interesting. The Chargers put out something that's called an anime. Am I saying that right? It's ANIME. It's like Pokemon. It's like a Japanese cartoon. And they put out a video when they released their schedule and put it online, and they sort of make fun of their opponents. And, of course, they play the Chiefs twice. One of they did a couple of great ones. One of them was when they play Vegas, there's a slot machine that comes up, and it goes and it hits on all 3, and it goes Garoppolo, who's the Raiders quarterback. And then a ticket spits out where when you win money in a casino that spits the ticket out to you in the slot machine. The slot machine spits out minus $72 million. Just what the Raiders have committed to Garoppolo. They're making fun of that. When they play the Chiefs, one of the games, they put the stupid bank robber guy on there. The guy that dresses up like a wolf. What's the guy's name? You know, the super fan I'm talking about. That went and robbed the bank on his way to Houston. It's him. He's in the meme. He's in the animation. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, the Chargers put this out. It goes really, really, really fast. So it's kind of hard to follow. You need to watch it several times. I think that's the point. But it's kind of clever. The Titans put out the schedule release that everybody's watching. It now has 15 million views on Twitter. And it was produced, I don't know this person. I think my son knows her. I think they might have gone to school together at K-State. You don't see her. She's not on this. She works for the Titans in their social media department. And she wins the award. This is a young person in her mid-20s. She wins the award for most effective schedule release. What she did was she went down to Broadway in Nashville and started asking mostly, Nashville on Broadway is like, if you're going to have if you're a bride, what do they call them? What do they call the bachelor parties for girls? Bachelorette parties? Okay, yeah, that sounded really stupid. That's what they call them. So these girls all go to Nashville and they go out and they drink and they do all this stuff. So what she did was she went down and did the man on the street interview, and they showed a logo, a helmet of a team, and asked people to identify what team that was. Of course, the teams they were showing the helmets to were the opponents for the Titans. And her idea was, let's use all these ridiculous answers. Like, they finally get one right, and this lady's like, oh, I know that one. That's the Dallas Cowboys. And it was, of course, the Colts logo, because they're playing the Colts. It's really funny, and almost 15 million people have watched this. I don't know who this is. I think my son knows her, went to college with her at K-State, but she's about to either get a big raise or a big promotion, because what she did for the Titans has gone viral. It's funny. These people, there's a guy in it, or a couple guys, but mostly it's women that do not know how to name the teams. You have to see it. It's really cute. It's really clever. It's really funny. And the Titans win the award for best schedule release this year in the NFL. KKHI is brought to you by Back9 Development, online at back9development.com. If you would like to build, Back9 Development is your partner. It's no more complicated than that. Whether it's a custom home, a commercial development, an office building, or if you've got some land that you know can be used for something that maybe somebody else is interested in, Back9's great at putting groups together, finding financing, getting business partners, bringing it in, doing it all. Now, of course, that doesn't apply to you building a home. But if you'd like to build a custom home, they'll work with all architects if you have a custom design and help develop it for you. TJ Volkanskis is a doer. That's the best way to say it. He makes things happen. If you'd like to speak with TJ about your project, give him a call at 785-236-0161. That's 785-236-0161. Online at back9development.com. B-Stock and bstock.net in Olathe, 14680 South Flaming Road. Chris let me know at B-Stock this week, and the red tag of the deal is it expires on this Friday. It's a MacBook Pro. We had a little snafu technically earlier this week. When I looked at this MacBook Pro 48 hours ago, the highest bid was $11.50. These items started under $10. The red tag deal of the week is at theKKlist.com. I don't know what the price of the MacBook Pro is right now, but it was literally a MacBook Pro that was selling for $11.50. Go to theKKlist.com and click on Red Tag Deal, and you'll see the MacBook Pro there. There's a new one there every week, and we don't care who buys it or if you're going to use it, if you gift it, if you're going to resell it. We don't care. We're just offering this every week. B-Stock's awesome to do this. They've got so many laptops that they, instead of just giving one away, they're like, well, let's auction one off and see who really wants the darn thing. They are completely and utterly overstocked with televisions right now. Like you can never imagine a better time. If you go in and you see one you like and you see the price and you're like, you know what, I'd probably pay you $100 less than that, they'll probably take it. No guarantees. Make an offer on a TV, and they don't usually have smaller TVs for kitchens, desktops, offices, things like that, but they have a bunch of smaller ones, which I don't even know what they are, 36, 30, 36, 42, smaller ones like that. They have a bunch of those in stock right now. bstock.net, 14680 South Flaming Road. And, of course, our friends at Window World. Man, these guys are simply the best for less. And I got another email from a gentleman who put multiple windows on his home and said, we were so happy with the process. The customer service is what surprised us the most. We knew what quality we were getting. They're American-made. They're going to last forever. They're going to reduce your energy costs. Zero financing is available. This gentleman said, what I didn't know was just how good these people are, how much care they would take for my property, how exceptional the customer service was. Yes, that's how you win the J.D. Power and Associates Award for customer satisfaction. Simply the best for less. Window World is the official windows of the Kansas City Chiefs. 816-799-0820, online at windowskansascity.com. Okay, so our last football note here, and this is really a tasty one. I'm going to play today a couple clips for you. This one I really, really like. I've been hard on the show Ted Lasso, and you don't have to watch Ted Lasso to understand this segment, okay? This is about Kansas City. There is a scene from this week's episode where Jason Sudeikis, who plays Ted Lasso, it's all Kansas City. And I'm going to play that for you because you don't even need to know anything about the show to appreciate this clip. So hang with me on that. Then a little bit later, I'm going to play another clip. And what I don't ever want to do, and I'll reiterate this later, is be the guy that just plays clips of leftist media outlets to make you angry, because goodness knows Fox News does enough of that. I don't want to be that guy. But there's one concerning Trump that is astounding. So we got a couple of clips today that I'm very excited to play for you. This first one, the show Ted Lasso on Apple, I've been hard on it because it's lost its way this year. Maybe 10 episodes was too many. Episodes 4, 5, 6, 7 dragged out. They were long. They were very dramatic. They had little to do with what the show is really about. And people were starting to say, what the hell's happened to this thing? It's turned into a woke piece of garbage. There was this, there was a show about illegal immigration in the UK, a boat that was out at sea from one of the soccer players' home countries. And it was just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? That's not what Ted Lasso is. Ted Lasso, the premise of the show, if you haven't watched it, is he's a soccer coach for a Premier League team in England. The owner of the team is basically tanking the team. It's a little bit like Major League. So she hires the Wichita State football coach, a guy from Kansas City, who's the head coach at Wichita State. Well, obviously, there is no football program at Wichita State. This man doesn't know anything about soccer, which is known as football in Europe. He brings with him his assistant coach, Beard, and Beard knows something about everything. He's like the smartest guy in the room, but he's also doesn't matter. Ted Lasso knows nothing about soccer. And people have wondered, like, okay, this guy seems kind of stupid. He's down-homey. He's Kansan. He's Kansas City. He talks with a twang, He seems like he's dumb, but he's not. What he is he's the world's greatest optimist. And he treats people well, and it's infectious to others. The message of the show has been, no matter who you are, treat others well, see the good in them, and let's all respect one another, no matter who we are. That's the theme of these next two clips I'm going to play for you. Because we've lost that. We see that politically. We see that in our country, that we've lost that. Well, episode 8 or 9, or whichever one it was this week, revisited that, and it was spectacular entertainment. It's halftime of a match. The good guys are down 1-0. As they come off, the team captain, McAdoo, hears a slur from the stands from one of his own fans. And he goes up and starts arguing with one of those fans. Well, they kick him out of the game. So the rest of the match, Richmond, the good guys, are going to be down a player. Their captain is out. What you don't know before I play this clip is the captain of the team is the only player on the team that knows one of his teammates is gay. It's a player named Hughes. And it's not a big deal, whatever. The story is about these two, and McAdoo, by the way, is not gay, but he knows this one player on the team is, and nobody else knows it. The coaches don't know it. The players don't know it. Nobody knows it. He gets kicked out of the game. This thing goes into an uproar, and as McAdoo leaves the locker room, storms out because he's been kicked out of the game, the whole team stands there and is looking around like he doesn't understand what's going on. And Hughes stands up and says, what happened was the F word that Bob Huggins uses to be a negative slur toward a gay man was heard by McAdoo, and he went up in the stands to defend his teammate, unbeknownst to anyone that this had happened or this word was used. So he goes and he does that, and Hughes, at that moment, stands up and tells the team that he's gay. They all turn to Hughes and say, we don't care. You're gay. It's all good. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. And again, this is about Kansas City. This is a Chiefs and Broncos story that Ted Lasso starts to tell to all these players. Keep in mind, there's not one American in the room with him except his assistant coach. None of the players are from America. It's real. There's no American players in the Premier League, so it's real. They're all from other countries, all over the world. None of them really know much about American football, and that's where this gets really interesting is Ted Lasso. You'll hear this as they're telling him, we don't care that you're gay. Ted Lasso steps in, and this is the essence of what this show is about and why people love it so much. And I thought you would love it because it's about the Chiefs and the Broncos.
But we don't care, right, guys?
Hold on, actually. Yeah, Colin, we do care, When I was growing up back in Kansas City, I had a buddy named Stevie Jewell. Now, he was a huge Denver Broncos fan. But we were all growing up smack dab in the middle of Chiefs country. So he used to catch a lot of guff for it, But me, I told him it didn't affect the way I felt about him at all. I told him that I didn't care. And I didn't, But then in 97, 98, he had to watch back-to-back Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos in them all by himself. First one, he ate an entire 7-layer dip from Price Chopper all by himself. big old thing. And it just wrecked his stomach. Apparently, he destroyed the toilet in his parents' basement. I remember the rumor at the time being that he caused $9,000 worth of damage. Could you imagine? To a toilet. $9,000. The next year, he did the exact same thing. All by himself. He must have thought it was good luck or something. I don't know. Because I wasn't there. Because I didn't care. But I should have cared. You know? I should have supported him. I should have been at his house both them years. Sharing that 7-layer dip with my friend. While his garbage-ass team wins back-to-back Super Bowls.
Coach, did you just compare being gay to being a Denver Broncos fan?
You know what? I did, and I regret it. Yeah, sorry about that.
What the fuck are Denver Broncos?
Well, no, that's a very good question, too. Yeah, it's an American football reference, an absolute fumble in this situation. I apologize. Yeah, okay. But the point is, Colin, we don't not care. We care very much. We care about who you are and what you must have been going through. Yeah. But hey, from now on, you don't have to go through it all by yourself.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, hear that. You got us, mate. We got you.
Okay, well, look, hey, I hate to bring up work at a moment like this, but we do have a second half of a match to play. Coach, what do we got?
Playing a man down. What do we do differently?
Absolutely nothing!
Let's go.
Okay. All right, Captain, count us off.
Oh, wow, that's me, yes. Okay. I don't know what to say. I'm honored to be your captain. And, I love you guys so very much.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
I love you guys so very much!
Just fantastic, and I'm pretty sure Price Chopper is not going to be selling any of the 7 or 9 layer dip anytime soon after the $9,000 destruction of a toilet from Ted Lasso's friend. But that's, if you haven't watched the show, it's a complete homage to Kansas City. And the reason I bring this up today is the show can be so uplifting and you can forget all your troubles. And you see all these people in this locker room from different parts of the world. They're completely different type people. And they accept Ted Lasso for being the goofy guy from Kansas City he is. And he lifts them all up and says, we're a soccer club. We've all got each other's backs. Ted Lasso doesn't know the X's and O's. He couldn't coach this team if he tried, but he's their leader. And I bring this up because there's a sensibility that we have. If you're from Kansas City or the Midwest, we don't brag about it. It's not talked about a lot. You certainly don't see it from the East and West Coast media and entertainment industry. But let's just be honest. Don't we believe we're better than those people? The people on the East Coast, West Coast, don't we think we're just a little more courteous, a little more forgiving, a little more understanding, a little more likely to help when someone needs help? Don't you think that way? We may be wrong, but there's no positive in thinking that. You don't want to go around saying that and boast about that. But thinking that is not harmful. This show, which plays all over the world, it's streamed on Apple Plus. It's on in, I think, 70 some countries. It's on all over the world. We've done a lot of things in Kansas City. We had the NFL draft. We built a new airport. We're going to have the World Cup. And everybody says, oh, it makes Kansas City look so good, so good, so good. There has never been anything, Kansas City, that has made our way of life look better in a comical way than the television show Ted Lasso. Because the underlying theme of the entire show is Ted Lasso is the best person, the nicest person, the most understanding person, and the person most capable of seeing good in every situation of any person you've ever seen in your life. It would make you want to visit Kansas City or the state of Kansas. They talk about Kansas more than Kansas City, but he mentioned Kansas City in this clip, so I did it. I can't even imagine being in a faraway place that couldn't find Kansas City on a map saying, you know what? I'd kind of like to see this place where Ted Lasso's from because he talks about it constantly. And you just couldn't have a better commercial for our way of life, not just where we're from. not just our community, our way of life. And when he does it, it's not left, it's not right. It's just the way humans should be. It's the way we were raised growing up here. Treat others as you would like to be treated. And this is so important. And we're losing that. I feel like we're losing that on the left. I feel like we accept people on the left a lot more than they accept us. Well, I know that's the case. I don't have to feel that. It's our lives. We experience it. We know it. I don't want to be the guy that plays media clips for you. I could have played for you today the guy that heads the Lincoln Project, which is the most misnamed thing ever. He names it after Lincoln. It's a far-left organization. This guy melted down during the Trump town hall the other night on CNN during a commercial break. He goes on an F-bomb-laced tirade, cursing and screaming at CNN that our country's falling apart. These people are so unhinged about Donald Trump, it is out of control. The ladies on The View went crazy. They're mad that CNN did it. AOC went nuts on social media. They're all mad at CNN and Chris Licht, their president of CNN, who said, who's the smartest guy in the room, I think he's a leftist, folks. Don't get me wrong. Chris Licht is a leftist. He said, we served America with this. Putting things out there for people to decide for themselves is serving America. That is democracy. Where people on the left get it wrong is they say, this undermines our democracy, having Trump on CNN. I'm like, that doesn't undermine democracy. Let people watch it and hear it. Shining a light on things is democracy. Hiding things or keeping things from your viewers, your readers, your listeners, that's a threat to democracy. So these people on the left went crazy, and they run around in the name of inclusion and acceptance and all these things, because I've yet to meet a conservative. I've got a place I bank. The nicest person in there is a trans. And I go in, and we chat, and we talk, and we get along, and she knows my dog's name, and all these. It just doesn't matter. I don't care. But I do care, like Ted Lasso said. I do care. I want this person to be happy. I will go out of my way, she's a dog lover, to bring my dog into the bank. Occasionally. Done it a couple of times. Makes her day. I want her to be happy. I want her to feel accepted. I want everyone to feel that way. And I think we're like that on the right. And I know they're not like that on the left. Anderson Cooper is the flip side of Ted Lasso. You're about to hear it. This is a leftist that is the opposite of Ted Lasso. This is a man who has longed for acceptance his entire life as a gay man. And the question is, do you accept others and drop stereotypes? What is your experience? I'll say it this way. If I went to dinner with Anderson Cooper and we never talked politics and he didn't know what I do for a living, he'd never know I was a Trump voter. He'd have no idea. We'd have a great dinner together. We'd talk about all kinds of things. I wouldn't get in any debates with him. We could talk about a million different things and have a wonderful dinner and a wonderful evening, and it would just be absolutely fine. I wouldn't care that he's not voting for Trump. But when you hear this, the way they talk about us, and the line in this that I'm going to play for you is, these are members of your family. That's just cruel. That's just cruel to try to divide families. This is a dog whistle to people on the left. Disown people in your family that are Trump voters. Don't stay part of that family. That matters more than family. If you've got someone in your family who's a Trump voter, turn on them. This is horrific. And he does it in a gentle voice, in a very professional way. And I just think we are very, very, very different, people on the left and on the right. This is Anderson Cooper, Thursday night, apologizing to his audience that they had to watch the town hall with Donald Trump.
And predictably continued to spew lie after lie after lie. And I get it. It was disturbing. It was disturbing to see and hear that person refer to a black law enforcement officer as a thug, an adjective he used many times to describe black men, and call Caitlin Collins, the moderator, nasty, which is what he calls any woman who stands up to him. It was disturbing to hear him speak so highly of QAnon conspirators and insurrectionists who assaulted police officers in our democracy on January 6th. And it was awful to hear him spread ridiculous lies about the election. And it was certainly disturbing to hear that audience, young and old, our fellow citizens, people who love their kids and go to church, laugh and applaud his lies and his continued defamation of a woman who, according to a jury of his peers, he's sexually abused and defamed. As good a job as Kaitlan Collins did trying to fact-check him, it is impossible to fact-check fully because he lies so shamelessly. Now, many of you think CNN shouldn't have given him any platform to speak, and I understand the anger about that, giving him the audience, the time, I get that. But this is what I also get. The man you were so disturbed to see and hear from last night, that man is the front runner for the Republican nomination for president. And according to polling, no other Republican is even close. That man you were so upset to hear from last night, he may be president of the United States in less than 2 years. And that audience that upset you, that's a sampling of about half the country. They are your family members, your neighbors, and they are voting. And many said they're voting for him. Now, maybe you haven't been paying attention to him since he left office. Maybe you've been enjoying not hearing from him, thinking it can't happen again. Some investigation is going to stop him. Well, it hasn't so far. So if last night showed anything, it showed it can happen again. It is happening again. He hasn't changed, and he is running hard. You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again. But do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away?
Okay, so that's ridiculous on many levels. The lie thing is so old, and it's so lazy. You know, when you accuse somebody of lying, I think you lose the argument. I just do. There's so many lies, we can't count them all. He's a liar, 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 liar. That's ridiculous. And Anderson Cooper trying to articulate his point by attacking Trump for calling a police officer a thug, or the January 6th thing that he was attacking police officers. Let me tell you one thing that will never gain any traction from the left. Any politician or media pundit on the left that attacks Trump about police, you're wasting your time. He has the police vote. And if you can't understand why, then you're not an honest person. That's what disappoints me most about people on the left, is they're just not honest. They're not honest about the truth. They're not. They're mired down in their groupthink, and they're not honest about it. And I don't think of these people as bad people. I don't think Anderson Cooper's a bad person. I don't think he's ever hurt anybody in his life. He's done some great reporting and stories through the years. He's done great things in his career. When I watch him, I like him. I like Anderson Cooper. I don't like his politics. I like mostly when he stays out of it. I think he's a calm, cool, professional broadcaster that, again, has done some great reporting around the world. I respect the man. That thing on Thursday night, I don't even get it. I'm trying to comprehend it. You heard it. What do you make of it? I don't even know what that was. Again, it simply shows we are so unhinged about this one person that we can't even live our lives. We can't like those people. We cannot coexist with half the country. We don't like them, and their family should split up over it. That's what I heard him say. These people are in your family, he says, and they're going to vote for Trump. You got to get out of your family, or you got to kick them out of your family. I mean, it's unbelievable, the things that they say. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having somebody in your family that's liberal that you would just say, that's it, I'm done with you. I can't, I disown you. I've had it. I can't do it. Can you imagine that? That's what they're calling for. That's what they're saying. These people actually think Trump will defeat himself. That's why Chris Licht put him on. Chris Licht is a leftist, and he put him on, and he thought, well, Trump will shoot himself in the foot. He's going to defeat himself. What it was epic. We cannot overstate what that thing was on Wednesday night. It was an epic night for Donald Trump. I believe it ended the Republican primary before it started. It's over. It's over because people like me that sit back for 2 years and try to use their brain and analyze things and say, I think DeSantis has a better chance of winning the general election than Trump. And I still believe that. I do still believe that. I think DeSantis would have a better chance of winning the general than Trump. Doesn't matter anymore. When you see that, when you see what Trump did, when you see him go into the lion's den and take all of those 109 interruptions from that woman and do what he did, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my fighter. We need a fighter. America needs a fighter. That's my guy. This is great, great stuff. Hey, we're brought to you by ticketsforless.com. If you're going to a concert this summer, ticketsforless.com is the way to go. We're going to be headed to Luke Combs at Arrowhead next month. My buddy Tony is getting tickets. He's shopping at ticketsforless.com, finding those perfect seats. He says it could be hot that day. We could be in section 200 where we can go inside of the air conditioning. Awesome. Hey, and if you're going to Taylor Swift, don't forget, if you purchase a ticket at Tickets for Less for her show, you'll also get free VIP tailgate passes to enjoy the best pre-concert event with Tickets for Less. It includes food and drink in Lot M near the Hy-Vee gate. It's all included just with your ticket price. Shop now at ticketsforless.com and save with the promo code KKHI no matter what event you're going to. The Bluemont Hotel is ready to host your group or your event. Have something big going on in Manhattan? Have it at the Bluemont Hotel. Maybe it's a wedding. Maybe it's a bachelorette party. Maybe it's a football game this fall that you'd like to go to. You want to get a group of folks together? The Bluemont Hotel is the place to do it. They can handle everything from giant weddings to very small groups for business. You have 5 or 6 business associates in the area you like to work with, and you like to bring them into Manhattan for the day and spend the night, maybe have a nice dinner, a couple of cocktails, do your business there. They have meeting rooms for that. The Bluemont Hotel can cater to any group, business, pleasure, family, whatever it may be, big or small. Online at BluemontHotel.com. That's BluemontHotel.com. You're going to love the Bluemont Hotel in Manhattan. You're also going to love your Amazing Garage Floor. If you call John Hutchins over at Amazing Garage Floor, you're going to get Heather. Let's just be honest. If you call the number, you're going to get Heather, not John. Right? You will, and she's awesome. If you want to call Heather and say, we'd like to get an estimate as to how much it may cost to do my garage floor, just call 913-901-7139 and check this out. You've heard about this for a couple of years now. What are you waiting on? This is the best money you can spend around your house. Unless you have something broken that really needs repair or whatever, you want to do something for yourself, this is it. This is the thing that you can improve at your house more dramatically than anything else you can imagine. You won't believe how it transforms your garage. You put a little paint on the walls, you're really going to have something in your garage. 913-901-7139 for AmazingGarageFloors.net. Don't forget, they also seal concrete with Seal XP. This is a great time of year to do that with AmazingGarageFloors.net. Well, the hits just keep coming for Southwest Airlines, and this is out of their control. And the airline industry is basically out of control. We've talked at great length about this. Southwest Airlines, 98% of the pilots just took part in a vote. And 99% of 98% of the pilots that voted to go on strike if they have to in a few weeks, just as summer travel kicks up, if they don't get the wages they want. Now, listen, these are easy call. Did I see that United Airline pilots got a 31% pay increase? American, earlier this month, pilots ratified the option to go on strike should it be necessary. I think it's really simple here. I think Southwest and American have to match whatever United did and give them the raises, and everybody makes the same, and pilots are worth it. Is there really too high of a salary for a pilot? We've got a shortage in this country. I'm not generally in favor of these things. I'm going to explain this in a way that I hope makes sense to you and you don't think I'm crazy. I feel like I'm going to cross a lot of you up on this one, and you're going to send me emails that I'm an idiot and I'm so wrong. Pay these pilots. Pay them double. I don't care what you pay them. I don't care what it costs. You're going to pass it on to the consumer. Plane tickets are going to go up. If the price of airfare goes up because the pilots are making more money, I can live with that, and I can make the choice of whether to fly or drive. One of the problems we have in this country, this is where you're going to hate me. One of the problems we have is flying is too cheap. You've been to the airports. You've seen everyone that's flying. You know what a miserable experience it is. You know how overcrowded it is. You know how many delays there are. You know how bad it's gotten. It has, if you're an adult, I'm in my 50s, so I've been flying professionally for over 30 years. Not all the time. I'm not my buddy Cato. He flies every week. Not like that. But I've taken hundreds of flights, and it is dramatically worse than it was when I started flying in the late 80s, early 90s for business or pleasure or anything. It's just worse. It's never been worse. It's the worst it's ever been. Period. Why do you think that is? Well, the profit, more and more and more flights. Closer together, jam them in, pack the planes, get these schedules, keep the prices low, cattle call as many customers as we can get. Airlines made record profits when COVID hit and they weren't flying. The government paid them to not fly. These are no-lose businesses. They're like the car dealers or the car manufacturers in America. The government will always bail out our airlines. So, I know you're going to hate this. The answer to all this is pay these pilots. Pay them a pile. Keep them flying. Encourage young people to become pilots and want to be pilots. When I was growing up, that's all anybody wanted to be, was either an astronaut or a pilot. And if you were an astronaut first, you were certainly going to be a pilot second. We saluted pilots when we got on the plane. They handed you little wings. They wore really nice suits. The pilot was like your doctor. It was like in your life as a kid, you had two people other than your parents, two people you really looked up to. Your doctor's like, oh, he's a doctor. And the pilot on the airplane. Let's get back to that. I'm good with that. It is hard work. It deserves high pay. It just does. And if tickets go up and there's a cause and effect here, and the effect is fewer people fly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with fewer people flying. That may sound really arrogant on my part, but you know what? Some people fly too much because it is so cheap. I don't see people at the airport that if they had a big important family event or something they really had to go to, wouldn't be able to fly if each ticket was $100 more. I don't see a lot of people like that, but they might take 1 or 2 flights a year less and spend the same amount of money. And if that happens, for some people, instead of flying 9 times, they travel 6. That's a winner. That's a winner. Same thing with businesses. If businesses cut back on air travel, that's great. I'm all for that. I know that a lot of you are not going to like that, but I see the problem with flying, and there's 2 of them in one story here. One is pilots definitely deserve more money. I know they make a nice living, but no, there's a million ways to make more money than that. There are, and it's just too crowded. And with one fell swoop, you pay these pilots, you probably raise the ticket prices. That might knock some people out. And if businesses got just a little bit smarter and flew a little bit less, that wouldn't hurt either. Certainly would not hurt. The Royals win again. Oh, this was a fun game. It happened on Thursday afternoon. I enjoyed this game. The Royals had a 3-1 lead. Brady Singer pitched well. The Royals tend to win when Brady Singer pitches. But then Singer went out, and Aroldis Chapman came in the 8th inning, and there went the 3-1 lead, and it was 3-3 tie. The Royals bring in Barlow in the 9th inning, and they get the White Sox out, and the Royals come up in the bottom of the 9th, and the Royals get their first walk-off win of the year. And how did they do it? Freddie Fermin squeeze bunt, and it was the best bunt you've ever seen in your life. Most Major League Baseball players do not know how to deaden a bunt. They don't know how to kill it if they try. They slap at the ball, and they hit it too hard. And they don't know that what you do is you hold that bat and you cradle that ball when it's coming in. You pull that bat back, and it just deadens it. And Freddie Fermin did it beautifully, and Prado came in and scored, and it was unbelievable. People are making fun that that's the most Royals way ever to win. You know what? Just win the damn game. You got a guy at third base with 1 out. Freddie freaking Fermin is at the plate. It's not likely he's going to hit a deep fly ball to center field. And you're going to win the game that way. Drop the bunt. See if they can make the play. And they couldn't. Fermin was actually credited with a hit. They couldn't get anybody out. The bunt was so good. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fun. The Royals are fun to watch right now. I don't know how long it lasts, but they're hitting and they're scoring. They have the best offense in baseball. It's May 12th. They have the best offense in Major League Baseball through May. That's almost 2 full weeks now of May, and the Royals have the best offense in baseball. It's fun. Surprisingly, Hunter Dozier and Nicky Lopez aren't in the lineup, and the Royals are better. We'll address some of that a little bit later as the season goes on, but right now the Royals are fun to watch. You should watch them. Also, this weekend, here's a couple of to-dos for you. Amini's Galleria is ready for you to come shopping. Whether you're looking for something for your game room, guys, or if you're looking for that outdoor furniture. They've got a big sale going on right now at Amini's 105th and Metcalf on all kinds of great furniture, including O.W. Lee, which is what we buy. It is not cheap. We're waiting 6 to 8 weeks to get our new outdoor bar stools, but I'm willing to wait 6 to 8 weeks to get the OW Lee. I may be dead before I'm done using those. This is unbelievable patio furniture. OW Lee. There is not a ton of it in stock. A lot of it's special order, and it could be 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just telling you right now, it is worth the price. Hey, if you see the bill and you're like, oh boy, this stuff's really expensive, now you got 8 weeks to pay for it or save up for it or whatever if you order it. Amini's, 105th and Metcalf in Overland Park, the best patio furniture you've ever seen. They have other patio furniture that costs much less than that. All kinds of different price ranges and quality furniture at Amini's, 105th and Metcalf. Finch Knife Company. It is a great week to go to Shields with your family, a great conservative business. Shields is not an advertiser. You go there, there's a Reagan statue outside. Take your family, read what it says by the Reagan statue at Shields, and when you go inside, go to the sporting goods upstairs, the outdoor goods, the guns, the knives, and take a look at those Finch pocket knives in that case. They are beautiful. Ask for the Flint series. Say, I heard the new Flint series is out. I want to see it. From FinchKnifeCo.com. And our friends at Colbert Hills in Manhattan want to remind you that the Sammy Family Stay and Play Lodges are available with a 15% discount on your entire trip. If you want to take 2 people up to maybe 16 people to stay and play Colbert Hills, this is the only way to go. These are upscale lodges right at the clubhouse. They'll even cater and bring your dinner over to you. It's phenomenal. 15% discount with the promo code KKHI, or just email Joni, Joni, Joni at colberthills.com and say, we want to stay and play at Colbert Hills. Our final today is survivalist Bear Grylls. Have you heard of this guy? He's got a TV show. He's been on for years. He's a survivalist. He goes into ridiculously difficult places outdoors to survive and does it for long periods of time. Where there are grizzly bears, places that it's hard to get, where it's insanely cold. I mean, you name it. This guy's a survivalist. That's what the show is about. Bear Grylls has come clean this week and says he is embarrassed that he used to be a vegan. Many years ago, Bear Grylls wrote a cookbook for vegans. He said, I'm embarrassed that I was ever a vegan. Quote, I thought it was good for the environment and good for my health. And through time and experience and knowledge and study, I realized I'm wrong on both counts. Eat more meat this weekend. Careful on the fatty beef. We all know that. That's true. In order of most meat consumed at the Keatsman household, it goes like this, and this counts for Cabo. Cabo gets his own food made for him. It mixes with this veggie thing, so she cooks protein. He eats more beef than chicken or turkey, but he gets all 3. We get ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey. We brown it, a pound of it. Then we mix the vegetable thing in there. She puts some oil in it and some things that are good for him and puts it in a big Tupperware deal, and it lasts for a week. That's his fresh food. And she rotates between 3 different proteins. Keatsman household, number 1 dinner entree, chicken. Number 1 thing to eat during the day, turkey. We keep deli turkey in the tray. I snack on turkey. I love snacking on turkey. Number 1 special treat for Kev is beef, and we do that. I love to eat steaks off the grill. Last night, I made bolognese, a pasta with beef. Delicious. Jessica ate some of it because she likes the sauce, but she doesn't like beef as much. And even if she liked beef, I don't think she would eat much beef. I could eat it every day. I know I'm not supposed to, but I love a lean steak. I love a good cheeseburger, and I like tacos and spaghetti and things like that with beef in it. So there you go. Bear Grylls, thank you for giving us the green light to be our healthy selves by eating all kinds of delicious protein called meat. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for listening to Kevin Keatsman Has Issues.
Thanks for listening to Kevin Keatsman Has Issues, presented by Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC. To get exclusive patrons-only podcasts, receive a weekly newsletter, and attend in-person patrons-only parties, visit KKHasIssues.com and become a patron today. This has been a production of Crooked Tail Media Incorporated.